Spin and let the music begin.
It has been a very excruciating long amount of time, and I could not be happier to be back for multiple reasons. One, first of all, you guys know I was literally the consistency queen for a good amount of time. Then, after my what I thought was going to be a 2-week break, I then got sick. I was unable to actually speak. I could not speak without coughing. So you cannot imagine how happy I am to be sitting here right now in old stomping ground. So we're bringing it all the way back to old school Aisha as per you guys' request, which is so relieving for me anyways, because yeah, it was much needed. I'm taking you guys to church. Okay, maybe not with the cleavage, but it's giving sexy. It's giving, yeah, she's ready. So anyways, today guys, I'm gonna be telling you guys a story time that I have been teasing at, essentially, because I've been telling you guys that I was gonna tell this story on my podcast, and now the day is finally here. So this is gonna be a story time about the time where I dated a 52-year-old pathological liar. I wanna jump right on into this because there's a lot to cover, and you guys have missed me, so I do not want to keep you guys waiting for any much longer. So it all started on a dating app called Hinge, which is clearly unhinged, okay? So this guy ended up messaging me, and you guys already know my opinion about online dating. I don't like it. So I know the question is like, okay, Aisha, then why were you on it? I was sick. Oh wait, no, this is actually before I was sick. I was bored. I was like, you know, why not? Besides, everything that I pretty much go through is content for my channel. That's why I have some juicy stuff coming for you guys, because I've been living life before I was sick, honestly. And yeah, these things sort of happened very, very fast too. So this guy ends up planning a date with me, and he planned it about a week and a half prior to us actually meeting. I didn't really pay attention to him. I don't know this person, but I thought, okay, he's handsome. And I already have like a pretty strong intuition where I know whether or not I'm actually gonna meet someone or not. I felt like I knew I was gonna meet him, and he wrote me like a couple times checking in with me to say, hey, just wanna confirm that we're still on for, I don't even remember the day we went out, but let's just say Thursday. And I was like, yeah, see you then. Then he checked in with me another time saying, hey, looking forward to seeing you. Let me know if anything changes on your end or whatever. And then he hit me up another time, which was the day of, saying like, hey, looking forward to seeing you. Meanwhile, remember that he was communicating with me within the app. We never exchanged numbers. So the day comes, and I am actually getting my nails done that day. I had a nail appointment. My nail lady and I are like fairly close, and we do one-on-one appointments. So I don't even know how time ended up literally going by so fast that next thing I knew, we were supposed to meet at 7 something, but it was 5:32. Wig had to be glued down. Makeup isn't done, showers need to be had. And I was like, oh my gosh, I literally have to go. I'm 20 minutes away from my house, and I haven't even started getting ready literally at all. So I'm freaking out. I'm like trying to rush, get ready as fast as I can, glue the wig on, style the wig, shower. Like, one thing about me is I don't skip my hygiene routine. A lot of people like to put a lot of effort into their makeup and hair and things like that. It all does matter, but to me, I'm not skipping the effort of the hygiene part, because I don't feel right all dressed up, hair done, and I don't feel like I'm showered, clean, ready to go. And I could tell that I was definitely going to be late, but I ended up getting there about 30 minutes late. I did communicate that with him. He was super kind about it. And that's another trick too, to analyze whether or not someone has anger issues, is to kind of just be like, hey, like, I'm running a little late. He was totally fine with it. He was like, you know what, it's fine, take your time, da-da-da. So I ended up getting there around 7:30. So when I got there, I was in the bathroom and I was on the phone with my friend Angie, because I'm like, Ange, I don't even see him. Like, I don't understand like where he is, like da-da-da. And I'm kind of freaking out. So I wrote him on the app saying, hey, here. I even video called him on there so it goes to his phone, and he didn't answer me. I'm like, oh my God. Because I already knew also intuitively that the original place that I wanted to go, which is the same owner, he didn't want to go there because he said it had let itself go, which is totally not true. I knew the fact that he suggested the place that he did, it was because it had to be a place that he was comfortable with or in close proximity to somewhere, i.e. like his office. As soon as I get out the bathroom, he's right in the seat that's right by the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, Angie, I gotta go. I literally hang up with her. We meet. He's very, very handsome, tall, 6'2". So we sit down. I'm a sober person. Like, I don't need anything to like get me to, you know, let my nerves relax or whatever. Besides ashwagandha, actually. But that's a vitamin. I don't drink or anything like that. So, you know me, I'm just pretty friendly, like following with the questions. And I'm like, you know, how are you? Da da da. He's like, oh, like I'm good, I'm good. And I asked him, I was like, so do you normally date younger, or is it whoever you like connect with, or whatever the case is? He goes, pretty much just like whoever I connect with. So that was already red flag to me, number one, I was noting in my head, because what do you mean whoever you connect with? So if you connect with someone who's 18, you're gonna make a connection with them. Anyways, child, so he already failed that little test. And then he also made a comment that I thought was so weird, saying like, just letting you know right off the bat, I do have 2 kids. That's like a thing in the past. Like, I'm the type of person where that already exists, so I'm focused on like prioritizing my relationship with whoever I'm with. And I thought that was very weird, because I've never heard a parent say something like that. I don't even date parents really either, so that was just new to me, because that made me feel a little weird, because I don't even have children of my own, and I feel like that's weird to hear someone that is a parent say, my kids are not my priority, my relationship is. I don't know, maybe it may be a touchy subject, but I just thought that was weird. You let me know in the comment section if you think that's weird. I then asked him, like, you know, the 3 psychological questions. Do you guys remember me talking about the 3 psychological questions? So they are, what is your favorite color and why? Like a deep reason why. And that basically means that's how you view yourself. The second question was, what is your favorite animal and why? And that is basically like their ideal type of partner that they would want in their life. And then the third question is, what is your favorite body of water and why? And that represents like how they view their sexuality. You know, you have to kind of remember these in your head, but of course they're such general questions, no one really knows what they actually mean. So I asked him that, and when I asked him the question about what his favorite color was, I noticed that he, like, the waitress came over and he like started laughing like and then like asked her like, oh, what is your favorite color? And I'm like, why are you like being so dodgy about everything? Like, I could already tell that he was trying to create some sort of cognitive dissonance. Anyways, I thought that was a little weird too, but you know, we're still getting along here. It's just that you can't fool me, okay? Look at what I do for a living. I talk about relationships and I study male psychology and personal development. You're not getting over on me. Go to sleep, wig, okay? And he actually used that girl's answer, the waitress's answer, as his answer. So I'm like, all right, he's playing games. He went to the bathroom at one point. He was like, excuse me, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm like, okay, sure. And then he comes back and then he just kisses me. And I'm like, where did all this like random sudden boldness come from? I'm not uncomfortable. If I was, I would definitely say something. I'm not uncomfortable. So I'm like, okay, like whatever, going with the flow. And then, you know, I kind of just was like, so like, when is your birthday? What is your sign? Sort of thing. You know how we are with the sign. And he was like, the end of August. That's like a weird thing to say unless you want me to guess. So I was like, the end of August. So you're a Leo? And he was like, yeah, August 29th. Now here's the tea. So I actually did my research because I'm a woman and I care about my safety. I already knew his name. I knew that he owned his own divorce law firm. I'm sorry, I'm not actually. This was just the man of the hour. It wasn't something I was ever gonna take serious. Why on earth would I wanna date someone that deals with divorce every single day? I'm sorry, it doesn't make any sense to me. But I was just here like, you know, it's a nice person. You can always learn from people. It doesn't have to be a horrible dynamic. So to me, it was like, yes, I wasn't gonna sail off into the sunset and get married with this person. I already knew that, but it was like, okay, like let's network with people. This is a good experience for me to have, like, why not, sort of thing. You understand what I'm saying? So we're just talking. He tells me, you know, I'm done playing the field. And I think how we got into that conversation was because I asked him, I was like, so given the fact that you do have a divorce law firm and you deal with like litigations and things like that on a daily basis, would you ever want to get married again? Like, oh yeah. Absolutely. You know, I'm like a hopeless romantic. You know, I definitely see myself, you know, being in love again. Okay, like saying anything clearly to flatter me. So I'm like, oh, okay. So remember, he offered this information to me saying he is done playing the field. I never said, well, like, what are you looking for? Do you want to be with me? I never asked those questions. I asked him specifically about his job and his perception. Oh, and I also want to add that he told me in the beginning of our conversation that, you know, like, I feel like I haven't like peaked yet. Like, I still don't even like know what I want to be when I grow up. You don't know what you want to be when you grow up. And you have a law firm and you don't know, okay, so you're a child. There are big kids. They're old children, okay? There is a such thing as a big kid. And that's what that was right there, a child. We're done eating dinner and everything. And at the end of the night, he looks at his watch. The night is still young. If you want, we can like go back to my place. Sir, it is definitely 10:30 at night. The night is not young. Your mind is young. That's what's young. I'm young. That's what's young. You not. You and the night are old. That's the tea. I was like, thank you for the offer, but when you like something, you want to have the experience again, which means that offer will still be on the table. He's like, you know what? You're right. Absolutely sure. So when is the next time I'm gonna like see you again? So around that time, the next week was going to go be in Jersey. It's like, okay, well, can I see you like before then? I'm like, you know what? Fine, because if I don't, then after that one date that we would have had, he wouldn't have seen me for like 12 days or so, or a little bit more than that, because I would have been gone for the week and then not also counting the days after, you know, our date. So we planned to meet up again, go on another date 2 days after our first date. Oh wait, how could I forget this part? This is another thing that I thought was so weird. Like before we were walking out, he was like, oh, isn't she beautiful? Like trying to get the waiters and stuff like that to compliment me. Like it was very obvious that clearly he knows the people that work at that restaurant because he's a regular there, holding my hand, like just really trying to like show me off sort of thing. And that does flatter people that are like basic. But to me, it's like, why wouldn't you? So that's just a casualty. And he was like, yeah, like, let me drive you your car. So he drove me to my car. And I remember we already planned before that we were going to see each other again, right? Tell me why I had to be like, okay, so how do you plan on reaching me if we already planned a date? Oh, that's right. Let's exchange numbers. That's where he already had me twisted and the clock was ticking because I'm like, how do you plan to see me? And were you gonna go home? Like, the fact that I even have to go in my head and be like, was he gonna go home and like then write me saying, hey, forgot to get your, why is this not on your mind? Like immediatamente. I really just, whatever. So that very much irritated me. Like I couldn't get out of my head. I couldn't really relax because I feel like there were just so many things, but yet I still wanted to see a little bit more. You know how we are. Don't act like you don't know. So when I got home, I texted him saying, hey, I'm home. Thank you for dinner. Da, da, da. He's like, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. Da, da, da. Like kissy emoji. Mwah. And I was like, likewise. That's what I said. He was texting me in between then every morning. Good morning, beautiful. How are you? Da, da, da. I'm like, okay, like, wow, I guess now since we met, he's more affectionate. And I did actually bring up to him, oh, I noticed like you didn't ask me for my number when we were on the date. And he goes, yeah, you know, like I didn't want to be like that guy. And at that time, I appreciated it because I was like, I appreciate that. Because you know how it is on the apps, right? You exchange numbers with someone and you were talking to them all the time on the app. And then as soon as you exchange numbers with them, all of a sudden you're no longer speaking. So yeah, okay, so you mean to tell me that you wanted my number to not speak to me? This is why I don't even give you my real number anyway. This is why you're not having my real number. This is why, because stuff like that pisses me off. So around this time, like the holidays were coming up and I remember him saying to me something very also like weird and just like extra, you know, like I'm looking forward to seeing you more than I am Christmas Day or whatever. And I'm like, oh, haha. Nice, thanks. I asked him as a response, oh, what did you have planned for when we actually meet up? And he goes, I put a lot of thought into it and also planned on lots of affection. And that affected me. I was like, in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, where are we going? And around that time, COVID was going rampant, like running rampant. So he was like, oh, I was just thinking, how about we meet up at my house? We do, you know, movie and I can cook for you. I know you don't do the house thing, da da da. But I was thinking at the moment, all right, let me limit my exposure to places that I'm going because this is what made sense in my head. I was very scared and I woke up the one day I left my house, the one day I had a sore throat, which I did disclose to him because I would be very pissed if somebody did that to me. But apparently he didn't even care. So the one day that I went out with him, the next day I remember, or maybe like a day or two after, I had a sore throat and I let him know that. So that freaked me out. I was home all week and I only left my house to go out on this one date. That's weird. So I let him know. He said it's fine. He doesn't care. He still wants me to come over. So I was like, okay, I don't go over people's houses, but considering what's going on, then I will make this exception. I'm grown. I can control myself. I'm not a child. So it was fine to me. Nothing's happening without my permission, right? Anyways, I get there. I get to his house. It's a nice house. It is pretty far from me. That was already kind of annoying. And I'm driving there with my clown makeup on, clearly. As soon as I got there, I felt like it's not really looking to me like this has any affection in it. It's looking affectionless. what preparation is here for my arrival? Okay, and before I even got there, let me add that he texted me so late in the day on the day that we were supposed to meet. And I don't speak unless I'm spoken to. So I wasn't saying a word to him. He wrote me around like maybe 3, 4, and we were supposed to meet at 6:30 and said, hey, going to the store to pick up some things. I should be back around 6 or 7. Let me know what time, works best for you. So I was like, okay, I'll be there at 7. And now actually, as I'm saying this out loud, the correct thing to say would have been, hey, I'm going out getting some groceries. Let me know if you need anything, because he was supposed to cook for me, right? It didn't look like there was any preparation. The only thing he was preparing for was his meal prep. Yeah, he was cooking chicken and whatever he was making, that disaster for meal prep. And I'm thinking, there's no way I'm having this man cook me anything. Also, I don't know him, and I'm funny about people cooking for me because people are crazy and you don't know what they could put in your food. Since you weren't prepared, then I don't want to have you prepare anything for me. So he asked me to, so what do you want to do? Do you want me to like make you something? Do you want me to order something? I'm like, just order something. Like, I don't really get it. Like, I came here and you're like meal prepping. Anyways, I ordered Chinese food. He also gets Chinese food. And then he's like, okay, so the problem is that the chicken's gonna be done in like 25 minutes. The Chinese place is 12 minutes away. So by the time I get back here, like the chicken will be done. I don't mean to like make you work or anything, but do you mind like staying behind so you can take the chicken out of the oven or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll do that for you. Yeah. What? So he leaves the house and I'm in his house by myself. I also want to add that when I came into the house, he had like a bunch of like slippers that were just laying around, and one of them happened to be my exact size. So I was like, oh, whoever these are, tell him, I said thank you, because they're exactly my size. And he was like, oh, I host a lot, so I like to keep like a couple like different slippers there. Like, what is this man actually talking about? So he comes back with the Chinese food and we're sitting down, and I feel like all of a sudden my back starts to hurt because I'm carrying this conversation. My back's hurting. And I'm also noticing that he's not asking me anything, really. And there were moments here and there where it was just like eating and just kind of like looking at each other. And I'm like, why am I here? Questioning my existence. Like, what am I here for? But I will say this, honestly, when he went and left and went to get that Chinese food, I almost went in the drawers and started looking for a weapon. But I didn't do it actually because I was thinking, what if this is what he wants me to do? Like, plus my friends always have my location. They always know where I am. I do my due diligence or whatever, like, don't worry. So while we're sitting down, at one point he abruptly gets up, which I now know he went to go brush his teeth. But don't get up and not offer me a toothbrush too. What's wrong with you? So you're supposed to brush your teeth after you're eating Chinese food and I'm not? Well, the joke's on you because I'm smarter than that and I'm a very hygienic person too. So I brought my own toothbrush and my own floss and I went into the bathroom and I brushed my teeth too. Like, like, what did you think this was? Joke's on you. He was like, how about we watch a movie? I'm like, okay, let's watch a movie. We ended up watching the Grinch movie, which I actually really like, and we watched the entire movie. This is where things started to take a turn. Then after the movie was completely done, he's like, oh, do you want a massage? And being that I was carrying the entire conversation, I was like, yeah, why not? Like, and while I can't believe I forgot to mention this part. While we were at the restaurant, this guy was literally giving me a massage on my shoulders. It was like a very deep booth corner that we were in, so it was kind of secluded. He at one point popped out my foot, started massaging the toes. I'm like, okay, all right now, what's going on? Whatever, but I know things are not gonna go beyond my control because it's my life and my body, whatever. And then he is trying to like kiss me on my neck, do all this like sensual type of stuff. And I'm like, no, like I simply can't do that. Like I genuinely cannot do that. Tried to like unhook my bra. I'm like, so let me put my clown makeup on right now. Again, what is it? Like, I feel like an actual clown. Like, what are you? I was like, oh, what's kind of like going on here? Like, what are you, doing? He's like, oh, like, don't worry. I'm like, why are you trying to literally get me naked? Oh, I'm not trying. I'm like, yeah, you are. Like, you're literally trying to do that. I basically, long story short, ended up going home and he tried to convince me to spend the night. Before I left, he was like, oh, when is the next time I'm gonna see you again? I was like, remember, I told you I'm leaving for a week. So I'll see you, if anything, when I get back. Cause I'm thinking, all right, you know what? Whatever. I'm not really mad at it. He tried it, but he failed. Let's move on, child. Right? I was like, okay, like I'll just see him when I get back. That's how men are. Like they want to know that they tried and that and just like give it. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to do that because that's not how I function anyways. I'm not going to. I literally leave and I go and I'm in Jersey. I don't really speak to him and I'm assuming it's because you know, he knew that I was away. I left the next day after I left him. So I ended up texting him on a Monday saying, I actually don't even remember. So then the next time that I wrote him, which is very out of the box for me, but I was like, you know what? I want something to bring to my channel. Let's see how this goes. So I didn't text him any words. I sent him a photo of myself and I was like, thinking of you, like, you know, trying to be cute. And he was like, ditto, and hearts my photo. I'm not really an overthinker like that. So I was like, oh, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But something was brewing in my stomach. At the same time, I was with one of my friends and she was going through crazy drama, like with people that she was talking to on the internet. So I was like, you know what? Let me screen record this guy's profile to see if he changes anything about his profile, because that's what happened to my friend. Because we don't communicate often, so there would be no reason for you to update your profile, right? Then the next time we spoke was literally like, I remember it was like the 31st. We spoke on like the 31st. I remember the date being the 31st. I'm thinking, all right, it's about to be a holiday. Why did you wish me a Merry Christmas, but you're not gonna be wishing me Happy New Year's, Happy New Year's Eve, da da da. So I'm like, okay, this is like very, very weird. And I texted him another photo of mine because I was going home and I just wanted to remind him like, okay, like he should be planning a date now, da da da, right? Even though, let's be honest, angels, I already knew in the back of my mind like what this was. I just wanted to see what would come out of it. So he wrote me saying the next morning, he responded to my text that I wrote him at like 8 p.m. saying, you are so beautiful. I hope you are having fun, but no, see you soon. That's weird. I get back home. In between this time, now my brain is rattling. So I'm like, wait a second. Let me see what's adding up and what's not adding up. So I finally start to do very minimal research. His birthday is not in August. It's actually in February. He updated his profile with something I said to him saying like, oh, like, I'm pretty sure you're probably not gonna be anyone as funny as me. He writes on his profile, like the clown that he is, I bet I can make you laugh and no one's probably gonna be as funny as me, like on your date. So in between not talking to me, you're updating your profile. I'd love to know when you made this decision and you didn't feel like you could have said something to me. Like, my feelings will not be hurt, sir. If you were to say to me, hey, listen, like, I enjoyed my time with you. I don't really think it's a great fit. I understand it may be uncomfortable, but that's why they invented texting, to say the things that we probably are not strong enough to say to people's faces. I basically text him because I know that I get so many questions from you guys saying, oh my God, what do I do when a guy ghosts? And I've never been in a situation like that until now. I was like, okay, he hasn't really been speaking to me. It's been passive reciprocation, passive communication, which I know all too well, right? So I was like, hey, this doesn't look like something that you're interested in. No hard feelings. We make time. We all make time for what it is that we want. He responds saying, good morning. Happy New Year. I would love to pursue what we have. However, I am only interested in a casual arrangement at this moment, or I would only be interested if you were okay with a casual arrangement. And all I'm thinking in my head was, when were you planning on revealing this to me? Because last time I saw you to your face, you were telling me you're tired of playing the field, you want someone to be serious with, and I get it. It doesn't have to be me specifically, but if you were trying to lead and allude with all these things, going out of your way to lie to make it seem like, wow, I never normally like feel this connected to somebody, I never usually invite them over my house like this, all these lies, then you look like a liar, because you also lied about your birthday. Now, this is weird because you didn't lie about your age, but you lied about the month you were born. Now, where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? Weird. And you're a clown. That's what you are, and you're pathetic. Ew. I responded to him. Normally I would say nothing, but since this was an experiment, I said, no thank you. I don't want anything casual with anyone your age. That's literally that on that. And I left it alone. Like, what do I look like in a casual arrangement with somebody at that big age? I don't care if I want to be with you for a year or whatever the case is. It's going to be something that's serious and worth my time. I'm not going to sit around and be casual with anybody because you want things that are not casual. And he literally lied to my face. I'm tired playing the field. You're an actual liar. You lied about your birthday. You lied about your sign. You lied about what your expectations actually were on your own accord too. I don't even need to stick around to see what else it is that you're lying about because you're a pathological liar. That's what you are. So that was the end of that, child. And I left that where it was, and that was nowhere. So that is the end of this story time video, angels. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm just so happy to be back and filming. We have some juicy, steamy stuff coming, a lot of tough love coming because it's 2022 now and old Aisha is back, okay? Make sure you guys tune into my podcast every Wednesday. It comes out. I'm gonna be back with our consistent schedule, I promise, because I'm back up and running now and feeling amazing. What was so amazing to me is that you guys were literally requesting like, we miss when you used to drag us, and I said, it'll be my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. With that being said, angels, do not forget that I love you and God loves you, and I will see you beautiful angels in my next video. Mwah.
I can't believe that you came into my life. You made me feel again. Now it's my turn. Let me show you a place